Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by. Today I am continuing to work on my Margarete Miller weekly collage planner, and we are on week number 19. And again, this is the planner that I'm working on, and it's starting to get very chunky. It's been a lot of fun, and sometimes the weeks challenge me a little bit. And so this week, again, when I pull stuff out, I try and pull out the first thing that I find in my stash that relates to the prompts. And so the first one was dancing, and I had remembered from one of my earlier collages, I cut off a piece that was down here. And I don't remember, oh, right here, this piece right here was the other half of this one. This lady down here, it's from a a digital kit. And so, and they were dancing on there, so I thought, well, I could maybe use that on here for dancing. And then, of course, when I thought of dancing, I thought about music. And I have all sorts of bits and pieces of music paper. And so I did pull out music paper, just thinking I might use it somehow in the background to go with the dancing. And then the next one was a label. So I went through all of my Tracy Fox and Artie Mays labels. And I found this one that said August 13, 1920. And since this said the Roaring 20s, I thought that I would use that. So I don't know exactly where that's going to go on the layout yet. And so the next one was the next noun you hear someone saying in whatever form. And so my husband recently was telling me about the rabbit that was outside. And so I remembered seeing a rabbit on this encyclopedia that I got picked up at the thrift store for, and I had used the piece on, you see what layout was that? No, not that one. It was this dinosaur one. And so it came from that same book. So I found a picture of the bunny or the rabbit there. So I got to cut that out for the next noun you hear someone saying in whichever form. So the noun would be the rabbit or the bunny. And then something in black and white. And I found this photo. My grandma that was here, she had a really old scrapbook of a whole bunch of random people from when she grew up. And my mom went through it and she took out all the pages of the people that she knew. And she gave, like, you know, if she had pictures of like some of her cousins or her cousins' parents, she gave those sheets of paper to the family members. But they, like I said, my grandma, this was like during the war or whatever. And so she had lots of pictures that she took pictures of like people from her hometown before they shipped out for the war. And so I had this photo was one that was left in there that my mom didn't even know who it was. So it wasn't a family or a relative. And so that one just stuck out to me. I have a few of these that came from that scrapbook because my mom gave me the ones that she didn't hand out back to people. And so I took this one out because then that would be something in black and white. And I'll probably tear it down some more somehow on here. And then a geometrical shape. We've had this one earlier in this journal, and so I still had some of those pieces left because I just throw everything that I don't use on these pages, I throw it back in a box. And so I try and dig through there to see if I can use anything first before I go into the rest of my stash. And so this one again had the chicken wire shapes on it that I could maybe incorporate on here, or these ones. And this one all came from that same layout that I had shown you where this other half of this paper was from. I think I used the geometric shapes in that one too. And so I'll be able to do something with one of those pieces on here. You know, maybe I could cut out that rabbit and put it on one of these geometric shapes or something. And then the bonus was something stapled. And so I don't know if you guys drink tea, but if you buy the Yogi branded tea, they do have like nice little quotes on them. And then they also are stapled at the top. So I'm using that for my something stapled. And so I have 4 different sentiments on here. And I think any of them would work for this layout. But I think I like this one. The string's still on it. But this one says, uncage your heart. Free your heart. Let it be wild. Because I thought, well, you know, uncage your heart. You know, maybe that would kind of go with these two people dancing. And then also, let it be wild. So then I was thinking too of that, the bunny, that's kind of a wild animal that lives outside. We do have rabbits and bunnies in our yard, and my husband throws out food for we get deer in the yard and we get turkeys in the yard, and so sometimes a rabbit comes in to get some of the corn or the sunflowers that my husband's throwing out. So that would work with that one that says wild. So I think I'm going to use that one so I can rule these pieces out for now. And so I'm going to go ahead and just trim out this bunny. There's a lot of good animals on this one, so I'll have to keep this sheet because I might be able to use something in a future one. So I don't know if I'm going to cut it out more or not, but for now I'm just going to leave it like that. And then I guess I'm going to try and rip around this photo a little bit better too, just to make it a little smaller. So looking at this size of this, I think this one pretty much needs to go up in the corner. I mean, I could just cut out the dancing couple. You know, I could cut out the couple, and I wonder what it would look like if I cut it. I'm just going to hold it up to the light and just see what it would look like if I cut it out and put it onto the actual hexagon, if I glued it onto this shape. So I know you guys can't see it, but I'm just holding it up to my light just to see what that would look like. And this one's the right size, but then you see that word, the Roaring 20s, behind it. So I don't know. I mean, you don't see the whole word. You only see like the 20s that's on there, and I don't know if I like that. But let me hold it up again to the light. I know, I apologize. I'm just holding it up like this up to my light. So I wonder if I could somehow put the label over it. Because what you would see then would be this part right here. So I'm just trying to see if I like, because I could glue that over it. You know, if I were to cut it out in this shape, you'd see just a little bit of this little sign right here. Because that would maybe be a little bit more interesting. I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and trace this. And we'll cut it out and see. And I actually could just put, glue on this and then hold it up again and just put it down. So I think, so we'll just put glue over this, I think. That'll work. So I know you guys aren't going to be able to see this because, again, I'm just going to hold this up to the light that I have here just to get this piece centered correctly. So I do apologize for that, but I don't know how to make it work on camera very well. So, okay. So I have it centered where I want it. So now I can go ahead and cut this out. So now we have that couple dancing on there, the dancing, and then did I lose my label somewhere? No, here it is. One bad thing about having a messy desk is it's easy to lose things. So the dancing and the label, because I am going to glue this, since you only see part of that, I am going to put this right there. That'll cover that up, or else I will put another one of these geometric shapes on top. So I haven't quite decided there. So then I have the bunny yet to put on here and him. So let's see, since I still have this sheet. I think last time I think I'm going to do the same thing. Last time I just cut around the edges of this just to make it have some little angles on here. And I liked that, so I'm going to do that again. So I still have a purple stamp pad sitting here, so I am going to go around the edges of this with, would help I guess if I have ink on it. Okay, so I still need to get these two things, or these things on there for sure. I mean, that's a geometric shape. So if I don't put any more of these, I don't have to if I don't want to. I might as well ink the edges on this one too while I'm at it. I would have liked to have found a dancing picture, you know, a black and white photo of a couple dancing, but I didn't have anything that I knew off the top of my head, so that's why I just decided to go with this since I already had this in my stash. So I think I'm gonna edge this also with purple ink and then set it back down again and see what I think of it. And I'm gonna turn the camera off because my battery is dying. So I will be back with a new battery and this will be inked and maybe I'll have decided on how I'm gonna lay everything out. I did just finish kind of laying everything out, and I thought I would show it to you guys before I glued everything down. I did end up finding this little heart that was already in my stash that I punched out. I thought about punching out a heart from this, but I can't find my heart punch at the moment. But I already had this heart punched out, and there's a little bit of a purple flower. So I'm going to add that because I really thought that went well with the sentiment that I had chosen that for the stapled piece. And so I'm going to put that right there, and then I'm going to glue this all down. And then I'll come back and show you the final result and then also double check to make sure that I've done all of the prompts. I did finish gluing everything down, and I did change the layout slightly as I was gluing things down. I did have, I believe, this little stapled sentiment up here, and I moved it down here. I did decide to move the heart over just a little bit. That was just kind of an extra piece that I had. And I didn't use any of these other geometric shapes, so you might see them again in the future layout. So I'll just put those in the pile to go through again later. But to go ahead and look at all my prompts, I do kind of like how this layout turned out better than what I thought it was going to. So I chose for the first one, which is dancing. So I found this couple that was dancing, and that was left over from a previous layout that I had. A label, which is up here, August 13, 1920. The next noun you hear someone saying in whichever form. So I did use the rabbit or the bunny for that. Something in black and white. I had this photo in black and white. A geometric shape, which is this background shape. And then also you can see the chicken wire shape, which is also a geometric shape. And then the bonus was something stapled. I had the part from the label from the tea bags. Again, they come like this and with a little staple and a little sentiment, and so I chose that one. And it does say, uncage your heart, free your heart, let it be wild. And I think that kind of works for the dancing, and then also the rabbit or the bunny that I added in there. So I'm going to call that layout good for this week. And again, I wanted to thank everybody so much for watching, and thanks everyone for leaving comments. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. And happy crafting, and hopefully see you back next week.